feel inclined to ask if you consent to being in the video. I guess so. Hey, welcome back to Weekly Update. Good week of writing. I was out of town this week, so, it gets dark at like 4:45 now. So I had a fair amount of time just in a hotel room with not a whole lot to do. So that just meant getting a lot of writing done. I think last week I had maybe just started off on chapter 9. So I finished chapter 9 and chapter 10, and I finished chapter 11 yesterday. So 3 finished chapters this week. Very good. So chapter 9, I had some good notes. I have 11 notes. So I think what's most interesting about this week was what I noted was that chapter 9 and chapter 11 are both really good, but need to fit together a little bit better. So chapter 9, my overall note was very strong. There are some tweaks to make, but I think that the chapter is in a good place. And then going over to chapter 11, chapter 11 and 9 need to work together better. So I would say that chapter 11 is probably the one with more weak areas. I think chapter 9 needs to be the barometer of those two. I even wrote a note here that something in chapter 9 I felt was kind of the thesis statement of the book. I'm gonna go see what that is, and I might share it if I don't feel like it's too spoilery. It's a little bit too spoilery. I say that, it's in chapter 9. I think it would ruin some of the stuff that came before. So I'm gonna leave that. Leave that for some beta writers. So I've been kind of thinking, man, this is a big, decent part of the video, because I've been kind of thinking about letting some readers read chapter 9 and 11. Kind of giving them that as like a, here's where I'm at. What do you think? I'm kind of in between. Do I want to have it as maybe a little Substack thing, something like that, or just kind of giving it to some trusted friends? It's probably going to be some trusted friends first, and just kind of writing them out a little bit better, and then throwing it to some friends to kind of get some critique on writing style, what they like, what they don't like. So that's probably where that's going to be. So I think I said this is from Rawls' perspective, and I really like it. I really like the dynamic and the way that I had Rawl talk within that. So very excited about that. Chapter 10, go back with Teb. And I think it's just a little bit, it's like, I've got a note here, good sentiment, slightly off continuity wise. So there's some like continuity issues, some things that I've kind of taken out later in the book that I need to start to lay the foundation of here in chapter 10. So I just know there's some issues. So right now I'm just kind of trying to seek out all of those as I find them when I'm rereading and stuff like that. So chapter 10, just a little bit. I like it overall. It's not a chapter to get cut or anything, but it's just got a little bit of meh in it, Chapter 11, I think what was really cool is I had like 2 pages with pretty minimal notes, because I had a cool fight scene that I wrote in this, and I think it's good. We'll see. But I think that it's good, and I didn't have too many notes coming back and reading it with a critical eye, so I'm hoping that holds up. Chapter 11 does introduce a pretty big plot point that I think is just, I almost used like code words in it, and I need to go back and fix it and make it work with the rest of the book. Right now, it kind of feels like Star Wars Episode 3, when Anakin is being turned to the dark side. That's the main complaint in Star Wars Episode 3, that it just kind of happens really quickly and it's this huge moment. I feel that I've got something in here that is like that. So again, if this goes out to any kind of beta readers, that needs to get fixed first, because it's just I think it's a little bit jarring. It's kind of like, oh, why would we do that? That's all well and good. I think that, like I said, very, very solid week of writing. There was a lot of very good points that I had in that, and what I think is I think that I'm about ready to go through the first 10 chapters and kind of do some rewriting. 10 chapters is about 25% of the way through the book chapter wise. So I think that we are actually more like about 30% through on actual page count. But from a chapter perspective, we're about a quarter of the way through. So I think that what I would like to do is go ahead and rewrite some of it and kind of take stock of what I've got, because I have a better idea of where the book goes from here than I did of the beginning, if that makes sense. When I was writing the book, in the beginning, really had to do very quick, very like, just get it down on Word, on paper, because I was just feeling like that was the earliest part of writing. This wasn't a habit yet, so it was a little bit hard to get in here and start typing sometimes. So I just really had to just kind of get some stuff down on paper. But as we get to the further part of the book, it was a habit. I could skip days and know that I was going to come back, stuff like that. I could kind of take days knowing that my creative process just wasn't feeling right for that day, and just kind of take a break, come back to it, and write something that was really quality. Whereas in the beginning, I really felt like I couldn't do that, otherwise I would lose momentum. So I think that the first 10 chapters are probably the quote unquote roughest part of the book. So I'll probably go back through, maybe do some rewriting there, see if I can cook up something that kind of meshes with the rest, and we will get this thing forming into a novel. I think what's been fun about this is I've had several great ideas for other books, and so this is, I think that this has been so fun. This has been so, encouraging that I can do this. I think it's been fun to have some other ideas for books. I just finished the most recent Lincoln Lawyer novel, Proving Ground, and that book, I love the Lincoln Lawyer. I'm not going to go do crime or courtroom dramas, but it's just, whenever I read a book that I really love, it just so much informs me of the kind of writing that I want to do. And then when I look on the writing that I am doing, I can kind of see where my inspirations are coming from. Michael Connelly is one of those for me. I love most of the things that he does. I'm also reading Elantris right now, which is Brandon Sanderson's first published novel, and it lives up to its reputation in that it's just okay so far. I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting into it. I don't think it's bad. It's just not like, I'm not flying through it like I have with some of Sanderson's other novels. So I feel like I'm just kind of figuring out what I want to write. Day and Night Art Enemy is not necessarily not that, but it's just not, I wouldn't say it's like a perfect niche for me. It's just, it purely is a practice novel that I think is decent. So, like I said, hopefully that'll go out to some beta readers soon, and we can kind of get some more opinions on that, see if that's actually true. So yeah, great week of writing. I got through 3 chapters. We're at about 30% the way through manuscript writing. Looking at getting into some chapter rewrites and stuff like that soon. Hope you'll join me next week. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Bye.